All right, roll it on in the chop shop. Here it is, YZ125, budget build. All right, we're gonna split this up. Ryan and I are gonna tear this thing down. We're gonna do a before and after, so the next time you see this build video is gonna be when it's fully done out. He says a budget build right now, but it's gonna be all out. It's gonna be sick when it's done. So now he's thinking he wants to go all out. What are you thinking?
I've been wanting to build one of these for years, and I just never did it. And then I wanted to get something newer, so I picked up this 2021. Gonna tear it down to the frame and do it how I've always wanted to do it.
After seeing all the coatings and the CEREKOTE, the forks, sending all the suspension out, getting it redone, we're gonna do some fork coatings, some lower coatings. It's gonna be all brand new, some powder coat, CEREKOTE stuff. This thing's gonna be sick when we're done, so let's get after it, start tearing this thing down, some stuff sent out, and this thing comes out when we're done with it. All right, and that's a wrap. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, got this thing all the way torn down. Tried to run it low to get an easy out so I can get this out because they came stripped. Attempted that, stripped right out immediately. It's always something with these bike builds. Should come out pretty easy though, and then we'll get this all torn down. Frame off to powder coat, get the swing arm back here off to powder coat. Everything else is getting vapor honed. I'm gonna attempt to vapor hone the complete engine together. Try and seal everything up the best I can. Cross my fingers so we don't get any glass bead inside this thing. I have a bunch of these plugs and different things to seal it up. I'm just gonna try not to blast directly into some seals, but we should be fine. The thing was just rebuilt, so there's no point splitting the cases, going through everything to vapor hone it. We'll see how this goes. I went to go take off the sprocket too. This thing was literally hand tight. I could definitely tell this thing was slapped back together because it just blew up, I guess, and then they rebuilt it. The vapor hone it, I'm gonna pop the cylinder off to make sure stuff didn't leak before we fire it up and actually look if this thing was rebuilt. There's a little before in the engine, and then once we're done with it, this thing should look brand new. The best part is the before and after. This thing's pretty, it's not terrible. I've seen worse, but it's definitely gonna clean up nice. So let's get this thing all sealed up, put in the cabinet, and we'll get to blasting. Flashback to when Ryan first got this thing, the clutch cable came disconnected fully on the other side, and I'm finally getting to taking the clutch off. That's how wiggly it was, and I just took this off. It looks brand new. This nut was just floating and sitting inside of here. Hence why this whole thing was moving back and forth. Push rod came disconnected and wasn't pushing the clutch in. Must not have tightened this thing down when they did the rebuild. Kind of scares me how the rest of this engine is and how it actually got rebuilt. The piston looks brand new when I popped the head off. It's look brand new. It's just sketchy that thing wasn't tightened down. For some reason, it doesn't want to go down. You can't even get the threads on there. Okay, so quickly cutting into this video, I want to thank the sponsor, Onyx Offroad, for making this whole build possible. And Onyx Offroad is going to help you guys find new trails to ride this summer. I'd honestly be surprised if a lot of you out there already haven't heard of Onyx Offroad or Onyx Hunt. They have a really cool app, which I'm about to get into, that can help you find new trails to ride, whether that be with dirt bikes, snowmobiles, Jeeps, trucks, anything like that. This app can do it all and allow you to find some really cool places. So taking a look at the Onyx Offroad app on my phone, basically once you get into the app and you sign up, and you can actually start with the free 7-day trial before you commit to anything, so you can get the rundown on the app and see how cool this actually is. So coming into the app, you can actually zoom in on the map and you can kind of pinpoint where you live maybe, or say you're traveling to a new place and you want to have new places to ride. You can click on, say for example, this spot right here. It'll pull it up. This is Pond Lick Road. It says it's accessible by 4x4s. And then scrolling down, you can kind of get a description on where you're going. It has pictures of people that have driven there or ridden there before. It has a difficulty level, and it'll give you the current weather right now. So if you want to kind of pinpoint, say you're doing a road trip and you want to have cool places to stop on the way, you can pinpoint different trails and know what you're getting into before you actually show up. So zooming out a little bit, you can actually see how many different places they have on the map that you can explore to. There's pretty much a spot everywhere you look on the map, so you're not gonna have a shortage on new places to ride. And that's a huge problem I've been having. I feel like I've maxed out and ridden everywhere I possibly can, but looking on the app, I have a lot of places I haven't actually been to that I'll be able to make new videos at. Here's another example, Piney Rail Trail. You can scroll down. This place looks pretty cool. It's an old railroad bed. It's like a cool place I can bring the side-by-side, or once I get another side-by-side eventually. Into these pictures, it looks pretty cool and somewhere new to explore, which is always fun. Riding the same thing gets boring. This is the best way to find new places to ride. And this lets you see if it's worth it to go check it out before you show up, and then maybe you're disappointed. You know exactly what you're getting into before you show up. So if you want to check out Onyx Offroad, I'll leave it linked below in the description. You can get 20% off using code Tyler20, or if you use my link, it's automatically applied. But regardless, you should check out the 7-day free trial. The app is actually really cool once you figure out how to use it. Looking around the map, finding new places to ride kind of gets me pumped for the spring to get out there and make new videos and find some cool spots to ride. As always, thank you to Onyx Offroad for sponsoring this video, and we'll jump back into the YZ125 build. Finally, a couple weeks later, we got all the parts in. We got the frame back from powder, swing arm powdered up. Fat Head Racing, we have a new head for this thing. If you want to get more power out of your two-strokes, Fat Head Racing is the place to go. I'll leave his link down below. We also got another head right here for the CR250 build. We'll start piecing the motor together, going through organizing everything. Got all the parts vapor home down here. We have a bunch of boxes of parts. We got the wheels. Boxes and boxes are brand new parts, pretty much replacing the entire bike. With even more parts over here, everything brand new. Seat covers, to tires, to plastic. It's a whole brand new dirt bike in these boxes. So I'm gonna get to it, start putting this thing back together. So finally, a few months later, the YZ125 is finished. This thing came out so sick. Brian and I are so pumped on it. I'm still waiting on the graphics. That's why I just cut up the OEM ones on the stock shrouds, so don't mind those. Just wanted to get this video out. I'll have to wait a couple more weeks for the full graphics kit to come in, but you'll see that soon, probably on the first ride video. Thing up front here, the main showpiece on this is the forks, thanks to JVI Suspension. I'll leave his link down below. Did upper and lower coatings. These are a blue to purple fade. I'm not sure if the video can really pick up on it. It looks totally different in person. The blue to purple fade with the black lugs. So we did the updated front number plate and fender off the 23 YZ125. New bars, everything pretty much was replaced on this thing besides the motor. We had the frame, triple clamps, swing arm, all powder coated black thanks to Upstate coating. Then we have some Warp 9 wheels. We're kind of going back and forth if we wanted to do blue wheels like the stock YZs or the black. I'm glad we went with black to kind of fit the back end of this thing. Once we get the graphics on there, it'll all make sense and really tie the whole thing together. The full raw FMF exhaust with the shorty. Making it stand out is these spec bolt bolts, which you can buy a kit on their site. So you can pretty much just redo your entire motor. It comes all labeled, ready to go. We replaced every single nut and bolt on this thing, all brand new. So you can't have that crusty hardware on there, and it really makes a bike build. So if you're doing a bike build, definitely check out Spec Bolt. They have these cool little fancy washers too to kind of give a little bling in there. These razor blade foot pegs, thanks to Raptor Titanium. I've had these on every bike build. Feet definitely aren't coming off of these things, and they're a lot wider. Side, we have an upgraded head, thanks to Fathead Racing. ABI with these fancy subframe bolts. New seat cover, thanks to Traction MX. We got a little carbon fiber, got the red axle blocks to kind of set it off. I tried to have it a little low key, but a little bit of bling, keeping the OEM look. It's gonna be an OEM shroud and kind of look the most OEM with numbers on there. A little more carbon over here to tie it all together. And then here's a better look at the Fathead Racing head. Opted to not put Electron on and just run the stock carb. The thing ran good before, so we didn't really want to change that. Everything cleaned up real nice with the vapor honing. I ran it before, runs good. I was kind of hesitant on putting it in the cabinet and getting media inside the engine, but I sealed it up really good. Don't think we're gonna have any issues. Cross my fingers that it continues to run good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think this thing came out sweet. The forks really set it off. That's the main kind of eyepiece on this. And I'm glad Ryan pulled the trigger and decided to do that, because it's not the same having those crusty. They were really beat up before, all chewed up. Moved the tubes out before they coated it to kind of fix it the best they could. I think they came out great. The vapor honer did a lot of the work and saved me a ton of time, especially with the air box. Everything was so crusty. And honestly, it was kind of worse than even my 03, 04, 01 builds that I've done in the past. There's so many strip bolts and things that I had to drill out and fix and go through. It's been kind of a nightmare, to be honest with you, for it being a 2021. At this point, for how much Ryan has into this thing, we should have just bought in a brand new 23 YZ125, tore it down, rebuilt it. You never really know until you get into these bike builds how much you're gonna have to put into it and really fix, because I replaced pretty much every bearing, swing arm, shock, tube, the wheel bearings would have needed to be replaced. Pretty much everything is brand new on this thing and gone through. It is what it is with these bike builds, and regardless, it came out cool, and I think it was worth it. Gave him an excuse to get back into riding again, to finally get back out to the track this year. And that's a wrap on the YZ125 build. All the in-depth detailed pictures on my Instagram on the build page at Project 2 Strokes right here on the screen. I'm gonna check those out and see this thing really up close. So that's a wrap. If you guys are new and you wanna see future builds and future videos, make sure to subscribe. Put a like on this video for the amount of effort that we put into rebuilding this thing. It's been like 3 months of work to get it to where it is now. The next build I currently have torn down is the CR250 build, hopefully to be finished up within this month. Definitely expect more 2-stroke builds to come. And on that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.